by identifying thematic threads that can be traced throughout all conspiratorial history. You can better understand the dynamics of how the entire establishment, how the supranational elite operate. And that way, you can more effectively deal with the questions concerning it.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And what I love about you guys, is your collaboration. I mean, this is, in that sense, really shines throughout things and give you guys, the more broader spectrum, really thorough pieces, going into the history aspects of it and the philosophical background to some of these, political ideologies that we were talking about here. And that's really excellent. And that's, again, what I think you have done with this latest piece called, the Panoptic Age. I guess that this first episode, this program, I guess, will be kind of the first episode because it's going to be impossible to cover it all in this, in this segment. But to kind of dive into it now and kick things off, talking about the Panoptic Age, to define it, when we had you on, Philip, the last time, we kind of defined, more what the scientific dictatorship means or what it is, basically. And if we were to kind of analyze the term, Panoptic Age, I guess that we would, realize that this issue of, surveillance, tracking, etc., is a kind of at least how I view it, a kind of central part or the crown jewel, something like that, of the scientific dictatorship. Don't know if you guys do not agree on that term. Tell us about, the background of the Panoptic Age and what the term itself means.
Well, I would absolutely agree with you there, Henrik. It is central to the societal configuration of a scientific dictatorship, being that panopticism really was developed and systematized during the Enlightenment, and the Enlightenment period would lead to the development of all modern scientific dictatorships or technocracies, and that is ruled by a cognitive elite premised upon their ostensible scientific and technical knowledge. Brzezinski, the former national security advisor to Jimmy Carter, also spoke of a technocracy in his book, Between Two Ages. He referred to it as the techneutronic era. At any rate, panopticism basically is, the term panoptic is actually a combination of two words, pan meaning all, optic meaning seen, a system of all-seeing surveillance, panopticism. It's basically a system of hierarchical observation that allows for the complete and total surveillance of the subject. And what happens in a panoptic climate is as the subject is continually subjected to this permanent field of visibility, the subject becomes an efficiently and completely self-policing unit unto himself.
Yeah.
Achieving panoptic control begins with the arrangement of spatial unities into a field of total visibility. Basically, it follows the schematic of Jeremy Bentham's panopticon. Jeremy Bentham, by the way, was an Enlightenment thinker, and basically his schematic, the panopticon, was what he had hoped would act as the chief carceral system, the penal system, for the emergent revolutionary government in revolutionary France at the time. But the schematic of Bentham's panopticon, if you follow that schematic, the body of the subject is physically positioned in the full view of others. The architectural configurations of all structures are designed to maintain panoptic continuity. Wherever you go, you are in full view of others, whether it be superiors, wardens, guards, or other subjects. There's a continuous field of visibility to which the subject is basically subjected. But this spatial regulation is augmented by chronemic regulation, namely through rigid timetabling of activities, for instance, business schedules, state-mandated activities like, for instance, in our day and age, jury duty, and when circumstances permit, even curfews. But all of these mechanisms of spatial and chronemic when the subject is perpetually cognizant of the ubiquitous gaze of others, the subject becomes an efficient, self-policing unit. He or she, in the words of deceased philosopher Michel Foucault, he or she becomes the principle of their own subjection. But the panoptic schema is extremely polyvalent in its applications. It's very versatile, so versatile that it's actually diffused itself to a wide variety of milieus within the social body. It was employed initially in the Jesuit model colleges, and interestingly enough, one Enlightenment thinker who came out of the Jesuit model colleges was none other than Adam Weishaupt, who found the infamous Bavarian Illuminati.
Yeah.
And Adam Weishaupt would refine and systematize his own form of panopticism, which he would call sealspionage, or spying on the soul, and it was basically based upon the continued observation of the subject and the development of what could be called a semiotics of the soul. It's basically kind of a schematic of overall observable gestures, behaviors that could be semiotically interpreted to mean specific things, and it would make it easier for Adam Weishaupt to control his illuminist recruits. But he came out of the Jesuit model colleges, and the Jesuit model colleges were one of the first places to actually employ a panoptic schema. And it's very ironic because the Enlightenment and Enlightenment thinkers like Jeremy Bentham would adopt panopticism in hopes of developing a penal system for the emergent scientific dictatorship that they were attempting to bring into being, while at the same time, simultaneously, they just overwhelmingly derided Jesuits and Jesuitism. But at any rate, the panoptic schema has also been employed in military institutions. The barracks, from the barracks to the battlefield, the soldier is continually monitored, continually surveilled, and continually kept in a field of absolute permanent visibility, so that his modes of thought and behavior can be evaluated by superiors. And basically, it's very interesting that the military institutions would basically employ the panoptic schema. And given the panoptic schema's polyvalence, if you read the report from Iron Mountain, in the report from Iron Mountain, it basically says that a military code of discipline and conduct for its application to a civilian environment, it would require very little revision whatsoever. So the report from Iron Mountain, many people have debated over whether or not it's authentic, but its authenticity aside, the didactic value of its contentions remain intact. The point is that that the very same model that is used in the military is and has been easily adapted to the civilian environment. But most significantly, the panoptic schema has been the defining feature of the prison system. Thus, with the mass diffusion of panoptic schema throughout the social body, society has witnessed the rise of what can be called a carceral culture. Now, the modern carceral culture has been upgraded. It's basically upgraded the Benthamite physics of power, which is spatial and chronemic regulation, involving a specific sort of architecture, a specific sort of a way of building structures so as to allow for complete visibility and chronemic regulation, that is timetabling, scheduling people. Those elements have now been augmented by technology. Those areas that are not visible to supervisors or other subjects comes under the ubiquitous gaze of electronic methods. For instance, cameras, you have credit card and ATM machines that track transactions, etc. But as the technology begins to further advance and further augment the current panoptic control, we are seeing the emergence of what one individual named Charles Strauss has called the panopticon singularity, and that is a panoptic state that has been made entirely, completely all-powerful by way of technology. But the most prevalent manifestation of this techno-panopticism was the Total Information Awareness Program, or the TIA.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, the official logo of TIA featured the all-seeing eye atop the truncated pyramid. Of course, this is a recurring esoteric motif amongst several occult secret societies, one of which, again, being Adam Weishaupt's Bavarian Illuminati. Jeremy Bentham also used the same motif in discussing panopticism in his proposal for the Panopticon. But accompanying the all-seeing eye and the truncated pyramid was also the Baconian dictum, knowledge is power. Now, this is significant, given, first off, Sir Francis Bacon was one of the first individuals to systematize and develop the means and methods of technocracy in the 17th century. He wrote the New Atlantis, which was basically the first, the proposition for the first early form of technocracy, where the proverbial philosopher kings of Plato's Republic would be replaced, supplanted by technicians and scientists. And Sir Francis Bacon, of course, was tutored in several schools of esotericism, namely Gnosticism, Platonism, Hermeticism, and he was also the member of a secret society known as the Order of the Helmet, which venerated the goddess Pallas Athene. And of course, the goddess has been a recurring motif in secret societies as well, representing the cognitive powers of man as the chief facilitators of his own self-salvation. And self-salvation, it lies at the heart and core of Gnostic doctrine. Well, the Gnostic themes in the Baconian dictum, knowledge is power, are very, very, very significant. In that the slogan, according to Karl Raschke of Sir Francis Bacon, really comfortably synchronized with the magico-religious mentality of Gnosticism. In addition, the TIA project's very acronym, IAO, the Information Awareness Office, is identical to the name of a Gnostic demiurge that some allege to have been invoked in Masonic rituals. Now, that such Gnostic themes would pervade a project of a neoconservative-dominated Bush administration seems quite appropriate. This becomes apparent with neoconservatism's sociopolitical utopian heritage. All modern sociopolitical utopianism basically constitutes secular Gnosticism or neo-Gnosticism. Neo-Gnostic eschatology, which was based on the Trinitarian eschatology of Joachim of Flora. Neo-Gnostic eschatology basically envisions an eschaton, or that is the end of days, within the ontological plane of the physical universe. The manifestation of the end of days, the eschaton, within human history stipulates the movement of the hand of man himself, not of a transcendent God. And this is known as immanentization. It's basically the reconceptualization of objects of faith, those objects that constitute cognitio fidei, or the cognition of faith, as objects of immanent experience. Now, this reconceptualization stems from the Gnostic derision for faith, the cognition